Hello everybody, Lori here from Unique in the Creek. I'm going to show you how to do a fresh greenery wreath. So what I did is I went into the bush. Dave watched. He watched for the coyotes and did video, of course. So I went into the bush and I collected 4 different greeneries. So the supplies that I'm using tonight were free. $0. Just a little bit of elbow grease, a couple shopping bags, and handy dandy pruners. So what I got, and I don't really know the names, people said pine, fir, cedar. So I got some of this. This is, I believe, cedar. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how I've cut it down. We've cut it down and I made bundles. Okay, so I got cedar, got prickery stuff. I don't know what it's called. This stuff. Okay, cedar. Now I live in Canada, so we got all kinds of greenery trees up here. Then we got this. We got this long needle pine. Got this stuff. And we got this. And it's got little teeny tiny pine cones on it. I was just cutting whatever looked different. That's what I was cutting. And I did not cut on private property. I was on city property, which is, I guess, private. So that's what we're going to be using. Got 4 different greeneries, okay? And now what I've done is I've separated my greeneries. I've like cut them down. So I just use my fancy little wire cutters here. And I've cut down my stuff into smaller pieces. Okay? Smaller pieces. And I put each kind in a separate bucket. Now I probably have enough here to do 10 wreaths. But I put the pine, long needle, whatever these are with the little tiny pine cones, and the cedar. Okay? Now I'll show you how I bundled them. So I have a sheet. So I still am at my craft table. So what I did is I put a big old sheet on my craft table. So when I'm finished doing this, I'll probably have to make a couple more. I'll make those this weekend. When I am finished, I can just roll it all up and just chuck it outside. Throw it in the garbage, whatever. Okay? And it smells amazing down here. Whatever I'm making on the oval board, you can make on any board. So yes, swag. Very good idea on a rectangle board. Anyways, we're using the oval tonight. So first thing I want to do is I want to show you how I made these. So if you joined me this afternoon, you've seen me making these bundles, right? Like I said, I'm using the oval board and I am using 40-pound zip ties. And they're 10 inches long, okay? This is going to be kind of heavy, and I didn't want the zip ties to break. So we're going to use a 40-pound zip tie for the hanger as well. But with my bundles, I'll show you how I made one. I put just a normal zip tie around the bottom. Now this is going outside, so it'll fare well up till Christmas outside, okay? You don't need to water and all that stuff. But the great thing if you use, and I'm going to send this video once I edit and everything, I'm going to send it to some fresh wreath places, because when this wreath is done, my sister-in-law can flip this over, cut the back of these zip ties off, and bring me back the board for next year. No wire, no nothing. So, because I was kind of watching some Fresh Wreath Makers. It was a factory, and they take little pieces and then they wire it and they wire it, and they wired it all around this wire frame. And there's wires and there's the ends, some of the ends of the twigs sticking out the back and everything. And I'm like, oh dear, we can do this so much easier. So that's what I'm going to show you guys. All right. So like I said, I'm using the oval board. I will be putting a bow at the very top here in the center, row 1. I'm going 1 towards the right from hole 1 to 1.5. We're skipping a row, 1 to 1.5, skip a row, all the way around, okay? So we're going to need 10 of these bundles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm just going to put this down. Actually, I'm going to put the hanger on it. So you have your hanging holes up at the top. And I'm using a 40-pound zip tie. Right? Tell them if they snip off their dead greenery, a bug, and bring the board back, you know, next Christmas, you know, give them $6 off or something. I don't know. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna make a bundle. So with this bundle, I kind of did like a spray, a fan almost. So I went tall in the center, and then with the greenery, I kind of fanned it out. And as I was making them, they're not all exactly the same, but when they layer on each other, you're going to see all the different greeneries, okay? So I kind of made each bundle kind of similar, okay? So, and I just zip tied them. So here's how I did it. So I took 2 of these longer soft pines. Okay, so it's about, I don't know, 8 inches, maybe 6 to 8 inches. And I'm just gonna put them down on the table. I'm gonna grab one of these 18-pound zip ties, just the small zip tie. And then these pointy ones, I cut and found some long ones. Hold on. Oh, here's a good long one. A long one to put in the back. Okay, so we're going to put that just in the back with these 2 on the side, just like that. And then I'm going to put the cedar. We're going to grab some of the cedar and we're going to layer it. That's a good piece. So just layer it. And again, if you don't have like a forest or anything near you, if you have garden centers near you, a lot of times they will sell you some of the pickings or the droppings from the Christmas tree, or even a Christmas tree farm. So you can get it really cheap as well if you can't cut your own. Okay, so I got some cedar. And then we're going to use some of this. It's got little tiny pine cones on it. And it's different color green. So it gives that a little bit of texture with that more of a kind of a mossy green, right? So I'm just gonna, and they got, like I said, it's got little tiny pine cones on it. Okay, and now I'm gonna take a zip tie and I'm just gonna go right underneath, about 2 inches up my whole thing here. Okay, just like that. And didn't do it super tight because we can add a few more things if you want. So we can push them down so everything's like even looking. I want more of these spiky ones. That one's a good one. And that one's a good one. So the zip tie's not completely tight. It's tight to keep it all in, but not tight, too tight that I can't slide some more branches in here. Have you guys ever checked out how much the wreaths are of fresh greenery? My sister-in-law pays, I think, pretty close to $100 for a wreath for her front door that she's going to throw out in a few weeks. I think that's good. Now let's compare it to some of the other ones I did. So it's about the same. So we got some texture, we got different colors, we got depth. We are good. So if you're gonna do the oval, you're gonna need 10. If you do it on a ring board, you can do 8. So that is how I made the bundles. Now I wanted pine cones and I wanted a little pop of red in the wreath. And I had these picks. They're artificial, obviously. The pine cones are not artificial. There's a couple of little pine cones on here, some red berries. So I'm going to use probably about 5 or 6 of these in my wreath, just to add a little more pop of color. They're inexpensive, so even if she clips them off and throws them away, it's not a big deal. But you can use real berries or holly berry if you have holly berry, like real holly berry. I did not, so we're going to use a fake one. For this, you're going to start at the bottom of the wreath. We're going to start at the bottom so it layers. So I'm just going to do these up until you hear the zips sound. Okay, so I'm doing these zip ties. Again, I'm using 40-pound zip ties on here. And the nice thing with these, there's no branches or wire or anything on the back that may scratch a door. And I've already put my hanger on it. I used a 40-pound zip tie for the hanger. Okay, so this is the top. We're going to start at the bottom. All you're going to do is get your bundles. We got to work from the bottom. You're going to put the end of your bundle right into the zip tie. Go past this zip tie that you put in because it's like a stopper, so it'll prevent it from sliding out. You're going to put that in right past and do your zip tie up. Okay? Nice and tight. You can move it, and then we're going to snip this off. And then we're going to do the other one on the other side, and you'll see everything's going to layer on top of each other. So this one is going to go up this way because it's an oval, you can't go all the way around, which is fine because the top, where row number 1 is, I'm going to be putting a bow anyways. And I'm going to put a couple of these picks going out under the bow. Okay, so I went past the zip tie, do that up, so the bottom is nice and full, and then snip this off. Okay, now we're just going to layer. You're going to take another bundle, and we're going to go up, past the zip tie. You can kind of angle, because we don't want to lose the center part of our wreath. So if you kind of go in on an angle, it'll fill out more towards the outside. Okay, so we'll do that up. I just need one, because I do want pine cone. Perfect. See if I can slide this under. Ah, perfect. Okay. I'm not going to put it in too far. Perfect. We'll do this side. Oh, that's a nice pine cone. Okay. Got a little bit of eucalyptus in there. Might put one in the center. I can do that one after. Here and here. So just kind of tuck this so the pine cone kind of comes through. I wish you guys could have smell-o-vision. It smells like Christmas. All right. We'll do a pine cone one again. And then the fake greenery pick, I'm just bending it over once it's in the zip tie. And it's kind of loose. You can still adjust it. Okay. Okay, the last two. And you'll see why in a sec. Ooh, this one's a lot bigger than this one. Take some of this stuff out. Okay. Again, I'm just kind of angling it a little bit. I'm going to put a couple more of these in. I just want to put a couple of these to the side. So they kind of look like that one. Oh, we're good. Okay, nothing will fall out because we got the stopper in there. So we got so far, look how big it is. It's monstrous. It is heavy. It is heavy. But the picks are the bundles I used. You don't have to use that much. I just wanted it really full. My sister-in-law has a very large door, a very large wooden door, so I know her door could handle the weight. But if you want to make it smaller, make a swag, make a ring, you can make your bundles a lot smaller than I made mine. Okay, so at the top, we're on row 1. I'm going to put a zip tie. And then I'm going to put some cedar pieces in. One kind of this way. Trying to find the tips. There we go. This way. So it's going to be coming up towards the top. I'll put some of this in. Got lots of this. Now, I'm no floral designer by far, so if I can do this, anybody can do it. I don't even know the names of the greenery, so. Okay, put some of these in. Trying to find similar ones. Let's see. I'm going to stick some up through the middle. Just trying to find a good one. Here's a good one. So I'm going to put it through the zip tie. So we have a little bit coming up the top. So some of the branches are, I weaved it through the zip tie. And then okay, a couple more cedars. And then I'm going to put 2 of the faux branches. Okay, so I'm gonna snip some of this off. And we'll put one going this way. Okay, and this one will go this way, and we're going to put a bow right over top of that. Zip tie that all up nice and tight. Wow, look at this. There's the back. Oops. We got the back. So no branches or no branches, no wires. I'm going to put a bow up here. I think I need to put one more faux for pine cone. One more at the bottom. I'm going to put this one at the bottom. right in the center on the bottom. I'm going to put a zip tie. We'll just put this in. I'll just kind of hook it. And do this up. Okay. Now if I have to do any trimming or whatever, you can do that outside. All right, we're gonna put a bow on this bad boy. Oh my God, it is heavy. But it's big. I just want to flip these up so they don't come out. Okay. Well, it's very heavy, but look at the board. Still straight. Still straight. Got my bow maker. It's just going to be on her door, even though she lives in Buffalo, so maybe I should, but. All right, so I'm going to do the tails about this long, which is, that's 21 inch tails. So you guys know I like to have my tails come out the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do, because it's such a big wreath, I'm going to do 6-inch loops. Hopefully I have enough. Yeah, 6-inch loop. I'll do 3 of them. It's a nice ribbon. We got this at my house, RGX 005374. Really nice ribbon. Okay, that's 3 6-inch. Do 2 5-inch. Yeah, it's not going to be, you know, maybe a month it'll be on the door, right? This is a really good ribbon too, so I think it'll be fine. Like if it was going in a cemetery or something, I would probably use outdoor ribbon. All right, and then I'm gonna do 1 4-inch. on both sides. It's thick ribbon. I'm going to come around the center and make a centered loop. Perfect. Pipe cleaner. Okay. Oh, I could have bridged some ribbon in there too. Okay, keep it stacked. Oh, it's going to be pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, we're going to put the pipe cleaner on the back. Do it with zip tie. Don't do it up super tight because we're going to move these loops around. So 3 big ones. Just the 2 5-inch. So the 5-inch are going between the 6-inch ones. And then the 4 inches in the center. And there we go. A pretty, pretty bow. All right, let's put this on. All right. Here we go. And I'm just going to go right over top of this very middle zip tie here with our bow. All right. Ah, it's twisted. Hold on. It's twisted. There we go. I think this pine cone's in the way. I'm going to cut this pine cone off. It's in the way of my bow. There, that's better. I'm just pulling it tight and twisting it on the back. Yeah, the warehouse was a little tricky to find. All right, we're gonna roll these up. Oh, I wish I had some like gold bells or something. I'll have to check the warehouse. Some gold bells to put down the middle. That would be pretty. All right. Okay. My first live or fresh greenery wreath. What do you guys think? It was actually very easy to make. There we go. A lot prettier than you get at the store. The new one, or the greeneries. And there is the back. All right, 10 bunches. I'll go around and we'll spread these out a bit. Oh, tuck that in. That's for the bow. And again, you want for a hanger, you probably want to use a 40-pound. It's a bit heavy. But again, this is the oval, so if you want it, it's very, very large. Look at that. Hardly even bending. So like I said, it's fabulous. If anybody knows, anybody that makes fresh greenery wreaths for Christmas, suggest them trying the Unique in the Creek board. And if you're going to make them, make sure when this expires and you're going to throw it out, clip it all off into the garbage or the ditch. Save your board to make next year's. It turned out really, really nice. Oh, and the smell is divine.